Alrighty, it's first day of my 2-day vacation at, well, you know where, and guess what kind of hat that I'm wearing? Yeah, it's the Bobby Labonte hat, autographed by Bobby Labonte himself. Alright, let's see if they got new die casts here. It's a pretty cool store. Hats, and of course die casts. Let's see which one I'm gonna buy. Alrighty, here's what I got at the sports store. I got myself a hat of the Melon Man himself, Ross Chastain. Yeah, the one who pulled off the Hail Melon move. You know, he rode the walls at Martinsville and actually looked cool doing it, and NASCAR effectively banned the move, and yeah, he was really awesome doing it. Yeah, he was brave doing it, and you gotta hand it to him. It got some insane amount of G's. Yeah, he was really awesome doing it. And that's why Ross Chastain is one of my favorite drivers. And the number 45 car of Tyler Reddick. Yeah, there were a couple of people there that just came out of the store. I didn't know that they were coming out. Yeah, it's a thing. You never know when there's people around. But anyways, this is the Jordan Brand H-Wings 2023 Camry stock car in the 1/64 scale. I don't collect very many of the 1/4 scale cars. Yeah, they look great, and I saw the Lionel ones. They're really amazingly detailed, but the thing about them is that because of how big they are, they like to collect a lot of dust, and I don't have much room to display them unless if I plan on buying a Denny Hamlin die cast if he wins the championship this year. But anyways, this is the H-Wings car, and as you might know already, Michael Jordan likes to base his paint schemes off of sports teams. It's a really cool looking paint scheme. In fact, it looks kind of like Elmo Langley's car with the white and green. Yeah, the 1/64 Lionel cars are, yeah, they're just as goodly detailed, but I don't think that, well, they're just as well detailed, but I don't think that they have the pop-out hoods anymore. Yeah, certain companies used to make them, but I don't think they do anymore. So yeah, really cool looking diecast, and they didn't have much. Basically had several Kyle Busch ones and no Ross Chastain ones, as, well, he is a popular driver after all. And the Napa Gold Filter car, the Napa Gold Filter car of Chase Elliott, I plan on buying the 2024 version, not the 2023 one. So yeah, really cool car, and I might actually keep it in the box as opposed to the other ones that I collected that are going on the door of die casts. Yeah. It's an amazing looking car. Yeah, I don't think they intended on having it inspired by Elmo Langley's car, but it does look kind of like it. It does give off that vibe of white and green, which I do like. Just wish there were Denny Hamlin and Ross Chastain cars. So yeah, that's my amount of merch that I got from the sports store. Yeah, and the sports store doesn't have much NASCAR merch, but it's kind of like going into racing around. Yeah, remember that store? Closed down. So yeah, I got a cool looking car and a Ross Chastain hat. What more can you ask for?
That's all the info you need to know. You need to know about the IWK 250. We start Hanley Canada's Ironman Gary Evans.
That is the Quaker State Grindstone Chevrolet as it heads down the back straightaway. On the clock.
Yeah, sound of American freedom.
Hot laps. Right flag. At a time. We will confirm that time in just a moment.
He was number one.
Well, he is currently number one because he's the first car in. Number 8, he's going to come out on the racetrack.
PEI, Mark Leclerc on the track. That is
Eastlink, Community TV, Eastlink, proudly Atlantic Canadian Chevrolet. Speedway track champion in a street stock.
7, Brad Eddy from Halifax. He had a top 10 last year, Tim.
He did indeed and backed it up at the Summer Clash 250. That's the driveline.ca. Guinness Towing, that's the brother of Dean McGuinness. Dan was telling me. At a time, the second quick at an 8.56, 14.856. Green flag.
Last year here at the IWK 250. Right now, Brad Eddy's at the top of the board. A lot of strong cars coming up in the next little bit here. Get a 14.8, lands in 5th on the board right now.
Of the board. Top of the board for Sam Rogers, just barely got.
Get your hand up his knee.
He told me if he wins the IWK 250, Monday is a town holiday.
You gotta get a hold of it.
If he wins the IWK 250, this is the driver from Antigonish, Nova Scotia. It is the Ron McGilvery Chevrolet Buick GMC Steve Doyle Construction and Michelle McGrill, car number 25. From Antigonish, number 1 for the 25.
Top of the
Top of the board, yes sir. 728, 13, 17, 2, 100. And Sam Rock.
14.7 moves him up to 4th. Not a bad run for Stevie Lively. As Jordan Vino from Porter's Lake is going to roll out on the racetrack, and the Vinos towing number 11 here at Riverside.
That is the Vino Truck and Auto Bruno's Well Drilling.
Ryan Messer from Harvey, New Brunswick on the racetrack. Last few years, regular in New Brunswick, winner on the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour. He's looking a little slow, and he is
On the car from Harvey, New Brunswick. Coming up next is car number 54B. Country Property Maintenance.
Danny Benedict here. He was here with Donald Teach crewing for him, and Smoker Joe Chisholm's on the
Second. It so happens that our next car on the racetrack is the 17. 6, 9, 1 for the 89. Does he have enough?
To third.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I was talking to, I don't
Here
know,
we
10,
go.
15 teams down there. They're all doing the same thing. They were all searching for speed.
Here we go.
Not
It's Regan
one
Smith.
of them, including Cassius
Yeah, who
Clark,
almost-
said that
That is the second. Now, if you were here on Thursday for it's all fixed up. It's got kids signing in for the IWK Halifax, and Regan Smith will stay behind the number 17.
I am really, really shocked at that. For sure, but I'll tell you guys, the track is so hot right now.
This is the usual W. Francis Fisheries, Nova Construction, right Yiddish, Celtic, Port Shoreline, Cannabis, and Trading Post. It's now
The driver who came to try and win the 100 lapper on the front. He had some power steering issues. He's looking easy turbo now. Robbie's towing number 31, Chris Reed.
he told me it was a couple of so Construction. Chevrolet, the driver from Enfield, Nova Scotia, it's Gage Gilby. Time. Driving from Darlington, Maine, former winner of the IWK to complete the Maritime Triple Crown. It's the King competition. Lance Seaford. C-Money, Cassius Clark. 14 goals, 2. Driving from Farmington, Maine, former winner of the IWK to complete the Maritime Triple Crown. It's the King competition. Lance Seaford. C-Money, Cassius Clark. 14.479. 14.479, lap record for Mike Rogers. Once again, if you're watching us on our live look-in on Facebook, we're going to show you time trials, and you're going to want to head to either timscorner.tv or racetimeradio.com to see from Riverside International Speedway.
This is the one we've been waiting 365 days.
Seventh split and a 14.546. At Charlotte Motor Speedway. Has bumped Jordan Vino from the dash. It's on the bubble. It's talk about competition here. Atlantic Dodge dealers screaming Demon Cars. He's got Nick's towing on the back. I haven't seen Nick Haddad here this weekend.
He had some issues in the 3 weeks ago. The 28 car Tim rolling on track last year. We unveiled this the IWK. As the number 28 car, Mike Dusky takes his first lap. Junior Hanley's had a fast lap time during the first 250s. Of course, he's still with us. He's here today. So for time trials back here at the 250, why not name it?
Tickets on the raffle. We have the Icon Construction Safety Team.
Why not? Why not? This is the Anchor Toyota Classic Anchor aware of this, if this is your first time here at Riverside Speedway. Mr. Young down the back, going down the back straightaway.
Excited to see Peter some laps around this racetrack.
The Quarantine Demon, that's a Dodge Demon of Jim Rankin in the 63 in front. In the 67, Chevy Chevelle, the number 23 from OK Tire, is Chris Dingle. Getting acquirers, we get
the 50-50 sellers are up here. Pat Healy, did you get your 50-50 tickets? Oh yeah, he's running. Okay, who we got?
We start to cross them up. The number 50, last year was a Junior Hanley tribute, and Chris Dingle maybe. Junior Kelly and Chris Dingle father tribute. That number 50 is Stacy Clements, the throwback to the old NASCAR look. The number 12 is Southern Comfort, a 65 Chevy driven by Jeff Ainsley, who drove Bill Building.
My favorite on the field is number 50.
Auto Rock Radio, Ross getting in on there.
Yes.
Cheater Peter Lawrence is the number 99, an old Chevy Camaro. The Point Design Group among his partners, B&L Fullmore. His brother, isn't that U2? That's different colors. You know, it was the 134 for a long time. Pat's from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, along with his brother Peter.
Just imagine.
And at the back of the field is the 23 Chris Dingle rejoining. So all these cars will join up for a feature coming up in just a little bit.
Joe got us our 50-50 tickets, and if we win, we're going on a grand vacation to probably Sydney. I think that's as far as it'll take us, right?
Can you?
Oh, no, right away. Okay.
Take home is over $3,500, so make sure to grab these hot lines. Side-by-side racing up in front. Especially looking Cheater Peter and Stacy history of this race.
This is the first hot rod race that I've seen all season long. Last year,
and he pulls in front of the 63. To the U2. Jim Rankin
Food, car number 13. The driver from Farmington, Maine, C-Money, Cassius Clark. Car number 89, Nova Construction, Celtic Ford, Mike Rotel by Wyndham Antigonish. Ford, that is Donald Chisholm from Antigonish. Car number 54B, it's the North Country Property Maintenance. Chevrolet, the driver from Ontario, Danny Benedict, 54B, and completing your field, Ron McGill for Chevrolet Buick GMC Steve Doyle Construction. Chevrolet, the driver from just down the road in Antigonish, it's Ryan Van Oshka. Oh, I see. Okay, so I see a Jerry Paxton on top of the 40 trailer.
And we got a Brad Man on top of that red unit right there. And let's throw it down to Brad Man. What's happening, Brad?
Well, Joe, it's a beautiful afternoon here at Riverside. Once again, cars are closed. We watched practice. We got to talk to a lot of drivers, find out all the different chassis, the different motors that are running. A lot to be said. The guys have worked hard. It's been a hot afternoon. But maybe what you got this afternoon won't be good when it cools off, so it's a guessing game down here in pit road.
Well, we'll find out more as we slink along here. Let's welcome in from Paris, Ontario. We got Jerry Paxton. Hiya, Tom. What number you got? 26.
Yes.
Jerry, how you doing? It's not doing much down there, but we'll find out.
There's great sign language down there from Jerry.
Just trying to get all these gadgets fixed up, though.
I think he should be just fine here, but we'll check in.
So this is a 15-lap heat race to set the field. This should be the inside row from 11th on back for the IWK 250, presented by Steve Lewis. Steve Austin looks over that field, waves the caution flag. Yeah, do we have one more competitor rolling to the racetrack? I believe that is car number 80. That is the ace of the whole septic, Tommy Sim Special. Car number 80, the driver from Upper. It's
Jerry's channel looks like it's kind of dead down there. I don't know whether it's not turning on or what the case is. We're definitely going to have to check that out. Here we go. We've got heat race number 1. Ready to rock and roll here. This field is going to double up 10 in just a few moments. Get race number 1 done.
Scott Neig is behind the wheel of the Dodge, getting ready to bring it to the infield. Josh Stoddy is the control car. He'll come into the box, indicated by the cars.
Looking on the outside. Meanwhile, Cassius Clark is just sitting behind up at second place in the fourth, so first time here for them. They're getting adjusted. Stoddy hung on to second. Cassius was all over the back bumper. But heat race,
inside row for the flipping on back for the IWK 250. Champion, driving the Carolina Cat back in Carolina is Regan Smith. To the outside, you're leading Lucas Oil, rookie contender in the series for CK Gilles Villeneuve. It's the Vino's Truck and Auto, R&R Kinsman Auto Salvage Ford. Car number 11 starts position number 3. It's Jordan Vino. To the outside, the Easy Turn Auto, Robbie Sterling. Car number 31 from Fort McMurray, Alberta. It's Christopher Reed. Ford, car number 30, from Schumacher, Nova Scotia, it's Stevie Lively. The Tire Canada, LCA, Lamb, Dodge, car 28 from Albany, Prince of Island, it was Mike Dusky. The Zanco Homes, car number 48, from Ontario, it's Dwayne Baker, and completing your field, these two will race together a little bit. Back in the day, it's the 36, Canada's Ironman driving for Quaker State, and Grindstone from Truro, Nova Scotia. Canada's Ironman is Gary Elliott, Canadian.
So like you were saying, Tim, this is going to see you outside the basically it's as good as it's going to get here for these drivers, but that's where you want to be. You want to be as close to the front as you can. As Regan Smith and Gage Gilby across it. That's pretty cool to say. Regan Smith and Gage Gilby side by side.
So Regan Smith won this race in 2008. Gage Gilby.
He'd be a baby. Brad, how old were you when Regan Smith won in 2008?
I was in the field at that time, so I would have been in my
Young and wild. How was it racing against Regan, if you remember?
Oh, he was good, he was clean, he was fun. Most of the guys that came from NASCAR have always been a lot of fun to race with, so it's always a treat to hang out with these guys. Regan's got a great personality, great to talk to, and I spent some time with him down the shop the other night, so we caught up. He got turned around, but not a lot of
First
damage.
caution.
There is one car that's torn
The zero. The zero is like a tin can that's been ripped open, Tim. Same with Dwayne Baker.
Heartbreak for Sam Rogers, rookie on this series. And the 48 of Dwayne Baker's We Will Roll, the Brycon Construction Safety Team. Mike Dusky. Mike was so excited to get this first IWK 250 start. And I mean, they're going to thrash in that car. The Trevor Lamb Racing Team is going to thrash to get that thing.
I don't think he did any damage, Tim, to the 28. He got turned around, but I don't think he hit anything.
It's missing a fender, Brett.
Is it? I can't see the bright side. So.
It's coming across now for the fans here on this side. So missing a fender. Stones RV, 21 Cat, and the Catcall for Kids number 24 is in front of the field. Ultramar Wilson Equipment. Thank you, sponsors, for this one day in the action is already 15 Terry.
Yeah, we were looking at Sam Rogers down there assessing the damage on that zero car. They're going to have a little work to do. I see some picture cameras there.
Pancakes were delicious.
Yep, pancake. It wasn't a waffle. I'm a pancake guy more than I am.
Still good. Still good. So you're going to get this field doubled up. Brad Man, heat racing. You see a big wreck like that.
Back to
It's a tough deal on heat racing. That's right.
Take it easy. Everybody's going to make the field, so save your car for the end, but sometimes things happen beyond your control, and it's a shame to get collected, but to get collected early gives you the rest of the afternoon to fix it, so it's not like a last chance race where you don't have time to fix it. So nobody wants to see it in happens. There'll be some serious wrenching, but one thing about this sport, this is a team sport, and it's one of the few. If you're missing a part, another team will give you one. So.
I believe our rule on the tour is because that was a wreck on a start. There is no caution cars per se, so the 11 will be able to keep their spot. Pace car is in. Let's try this again. This is a 15-lap
Regan Smith will take the early lead. Underneath is behind the big t-shirt.
Regan Smith, the winner of the IWK 250. Second right now.
What a heat race. The orange looking strong, guys.
Yeah, super solid. Great heat racing for Atlantic Tilt Load Heat Racing. And they're all just going to pull it right into the infield. But let's give a hand, race fans. Our NASCAR celebrity driver is going to be rolling off 12th of the IWK 250. It's Regan Smith in the cat car for kids.
A lot of that lap money early to get away from the heavy traffic, but this should be an interesting one. Some strong cars, all the strong cars. And they were told that the drivers meet not be too rough, but this is for the crew of the IWK 250. I think that goes out the window. We're going to see some rubbing and some great racing in this 15 heat.
You can guarantee it. Jerry, come on, let's try it one more time from where you're located. Give it a shot. You've got to move, Jerry, on your way. So here we go. The field tip is going to double up. When they do, it's going to be time to go. You pass them now. You don't need to pass them later unless you get up here.
That's a horse with the racing thing, but you want to be up in front of Steve Austin on the flag stand and tell those drivers to cross somebody.
Top 10 spots in the IWK 250 presented by Steve Lewis, Scott Negus. Wheels the pace car around. Go after that dash draw, but he's going to pull it in to the infield, and here
76 up, Jerry.
Yeah, you guys go through it. I can see Mindy's honorary starter along with Billy Powell Jr. Boys, this is the Heart of a Champion Hot Rod Classics. You know, the rest of the race fans to vintage racing here in the Maritimes with the Anchor Toyota Classic.
How exciting is it to throw a green flag first, thundering under your toes?
Yeah, you've got a lot of maritime history, not only with these race cars, but inside these race cars. That's not great. That's not great. That was a greater issue on Jerry.
Maybe so, yeah.
Okay, we'll figure that out. Kevin, you said about the six cars. Some of these drivers, like watching racing, you know, sort of cars, and obviously not us. This goes on and on. It's good to see these cars here, and it's good to see them in front of the big crowd. And I think the thing that brings us all together, Dylan, and I know we mentioned it earlier, they raise money, merchandise sales, what have you, for the IWK. It's fitting that the hot rods are part of it.
Absolutely. Let's go through your starting lineup. This is going to be a 30-lap race. Following this will be the autograph session for the Postdoc Tour. We'll get closer to opening ceremonies for the IWK 250. Quickly, your starting grid. The 63 car, the Screaming Demon's going to bring it to the top of the board and bring it to the green. It's Jim Rankin in that 63. Donnie Young is in the 56 Chevy. The 47 Beautiful Dodge is Brad Melindy from Canada. Stacey Clements in the NASCAR should be in the 50. Henry Newton in the 76 Chevy Monza. The Linesizer is Ron Heffler before back himself from 1977. The number 23 is Chris Dingle in the Chevelle. The 12 car is the Chevy of Jeff Ainsley. Cheater Peter in the big Camaro. Pat Lawrence in the U2. And Steve Curtis in the 12. Race fans, as they double up here, let's give them a big hot rod wave here during the IWK 250. And they're going to wave back at you for supporting them and letting them be a part of the IWK 250 Saturday. Come on, turn 1 and 2 in the beer garden. Give them a big wave. Tim Terry, this is huge for some of these vintage racers. A guy like Steve Curtis, you know, raced the modified tour, probably never dreamed of being on the bill. It's the IWK 250.
I told Steve earlier, we had the conversation, I said you raced in front of a couple of big crowds in New Brunswick, but this is the IWK 250. You look at these, this is my day, 500. I've never had a race in my career in front of a big crowd like that. It's good to see Steve here. It's good to see the team from Miramichi, and they're getting ready to put on a show. Love seeing Steve Curtis, John O'Shea in the camp being here as Billy Powell Jr. has let the green flag go to our friend from Anchor Toyota.
And from Anchor Toyota is going to get the Anchor Toyota Classic underway. It's the Heart of a Champion Hot Rod Classic. Barry Hughley has this issue on the start. He gets it going now. right in the middle with the boys here. You know, not to take
I think the sleeper in this field might be Cheater Peter back there.
In the Junior Kelly, Gord Ewing, Bob Riley tribute, this 50 car has made it to victory lane once again. Race fans, your winner of the Vintage Series feature during the IWK 250 is Stacy Clements in the number 50. We'll head down trackside to 100. That's how long this race is. Up to lap 100 here. Dalton Industries 101 to 102. Facility Raceware 103. Dazzle Enterprises 104. The Municipality of the County of Antigonish 105 all the way down to 110. Ultramar 110 to 119. The Gregor's Industrial for 120 and 121. Three Square Restaurant 120 to 124. Up to the halfway award for M&R Automotive and Auto Pro and Shorefront Marinas, we see Steve Lewison, the fastest man here in Antigonish tonight for the Hanley Cup winner. Earlier, your driver pulling up to the front of the field, the number 99, Craig Slomwhite, first car out on the track. And again, there's some extra money at lap 125. Three Square Restaurant for 126 and 127. Aggregate Equipment for 128 to 143. 144 Memory of Carol Cochran, Maritime Car Wash for 145 and 146. Eastern Drainage for 147 to 148. Ross Screen Print 149 to 150. Superior Power Products Limited 151 all the way down to 155. MGB Mechanical Fort McMurray for 156 and 157. McDonald's Convenience for 158. Northeast Truck and Trailer lap 159. Deluxe Paints Bears Lake 160 to 169. J-Mac Heavy Equipment Repair 170 to lap 178. Race Time Radio 179 to 180. The Three Square Restaurant 181 to 184. AW Wheel Cranes and Equipment 185 all the way down to 193. Banner Road fronts. You can see some of these beautiful hot rods parading around the racetrack. Steve Lewis Auto Body, big supporter, of course. RJB Auto for 194, AW Leo again for 195 to 200, RD Performance Center 201 to 202, Knot City Race Car 203, Peterbilt Atlantic 204, Galaxy.
Presenting sponsor, Steve Lewis with his grandchildren, Emily Chisholm, Shelby Chisholm, Ryan Chisholm, and Aiden Lewis. Josh Steer from Torrot Cat. Jason Thorpe, Relationship Manager, the IWK Foundation. Dan McLeod, East Coast International Pro Stock Tour. Everly Breen and her father and mother, Caitlin and Joel, our IWK family. Round of applause.
Yeah, he's a Adelaide. He's in Adelaide. That's right.
At this time, I'll call upon the Premier for the province of Nova Scotia, Tim Houston, to bring greetings from the province.
Well, good evening, race fans. What a night for racing. The best race in Canada right here, and it happens tonight. So pleased to be here. I want to thank everyone for what they do for the IWK. This is a big deal, this race right here. In 55 years, people have been racing here, and I think the late John Nova will be pretty happy to see this crowd see what's happening here tonight. So I want to wish the drivers the very best of luck. I want to give a little shout out to my father-in-law, the dancing flagmen, Art Steves, Art and Werner are here with us tonight. Happy to see them back at the racetrack. Well, good luck to all the drivers. Have a great race, everyone. Good night, everyone.
We'd now like to invite to the microphone from the IWK Foundation, Jason Thorpe.
Hello everybody, my name is Jason Thorpe and I have the absolute privilege of working for the IWK Foundation. And since 2007, the IWK 250 has raised $617,000 in support of the IWK. I would like to give a very special thank you to the Chisholm and Lewis families and the entire Riverside team, Tormont Cat, the Hot Rod Classics, and you, the fans, for coming out. Our region is better off because of your generosity and collective efforts. Premier Houston, thank you again for joining us here at the track. Lastly, Regan, welcome back north of the border. I hope you had a chance to take in the signatures once again on the car, because there are countless kids cheering you on 204 kilometers away from their beds. And to say a few words on behalf of the 14,615 patients who called the IWK home last year, I would like to introduce to you a very special young girl. Having been born with a rare heart condition and a hole in her heart, this little 5-year-old has had 3 heart surgeries, including one when she was just 2 days old. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and join me in welcoming, from Denver, Nova Scotia, Everly Breen, her parents Joel and Caitlin, sister Ashlyn, and grandmother Judy.
Competing with the East Coast International Pro Stock Tour. Come on down here, Regan. Okay, welcome back. What do you got for these boys tonight?
Well, thank you for having me back, first off, and I don't know, I'm a little rusty since the last time that I've been up here. The car is better than the driver right now, but the driver has 250 laps to figure this out if I don't do anything too stupid out there, and you know, it's just such a great field of drivers, talented race car drivers, and I enjoy every time I've been up here. To all of you that live either in this area or have traveled in, this is a beautiful area of Canada, and I'm excited. This is one of my favorite racetracks to come to. I got to come back again, so we're going to make the most of it.
Have fun. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you, Doc. And thank all of you guys for being here tonight. You are what makes this track work. You are what makes this track so special for all of us who are going to be racing out here tonight.
There you go, folks. Give it up one more time for Regan Smith.
There he is.
Last time the tour was in town. 2, 3.
Is you. We've got drivers from the U.S., we've got drivers from all over Canada. They have
took a drive through the campgrounds. We saw license plates for places we haven't even heard of. And they're here because this is the IWK 250 at Riverside International Speedway.
Have a look at your short track. Tell me the last time you've seen your premier show up at the race facility and give greetings. That's what Jim Houston's all about out here in Nova Scotia. A class premier. We're so fortunate to have Tim here in our government. Brad, man, what a race. And you can feel the temperature changing. This track is going to change substantially over the course of the night.
It is, Joe, and this afternoon, if you were perfect, that's not good news for tonight. You should have been loose earlier this afternoon. As the temperatures cool, these cars will tighten up. A mixture, Joe, quite a bit of mixture in the field. 9 Fury chassis out of the Andrew Higgins shop. 2 independent Fury chassis. 3 McCall chassis. 3 distance chassis. 1 Handley chassis. 2 CRP chassis. You also got the Van Dorn chassis in the field, 5 of them. You get 1 Hal chassis, 1 FLF chassis, 1 Port City chassis. You want to talk about a mixture, Ford, Chevs, Dodges, got it all. So we're going to sit back and enjoy this one, and it'll be hard to predict what's different, Joe. It should be pretty exciting. And what a crowd here, and you know why the people come to this, why the cars come to it. This is the premier establishment in the Eastern Seaboard, bar none, at Riverside. The Chisholms have built a dynasty here, and that's why people come from all over to watch this show.
We got competitors here from Newfoundland, Placentia, Newfoundland, I might add. We've also got teams from Brunswick, from, of course, Nova Scotia. We've got them from PEI. We've got competitors here from Ontario. We've even got a guy here, 2 of them actually, that work in Fort Mac in Alberta. They're here. And yeah, here, Tim, this is going to be one, man. You got your brother. That's a long run. And I do believe we exceed the population of Antigua here at the Speedway tonight. Getting close. We're getting close, guys. The field is
Greetings, late model enjoyers and NASCAR enjoyers. Yeah, I intended on posting the video last night, but the camera's battery died and I had to finish the video on the next day. So, back from the second day of the day trip. Yeah, second day was pretty much just going to a certain wholesaler. Yeah, Costco. But anyways, I did go to the IWK 250 as sort of like a beta test to whenever I go to an actual NASCAR race. You see, I always like to go to smaller races just to test the waters on whenever I get the chance to go to an actual NASCAR race. So yeah, the IWK 250 had some excitement, especially with Regan Smith coming back. And keep in mind, he was one of the 2 celebrity NASCAR drivers to win the IWK 250, the other being Kenny Wallace, who, believe it or not, has a YouTube channel. And Riverside is actually a pretty good short track. It's basically like Bristol before the surface became concrete. So yeah, you got to look at Bristol's pre-concrete surface. And Riverside, of course, still has the asphalt surface. So, the IWK 250 consisted of the time trials, which is basically the qualifying round. And here are some of the notable qualifiers, including the points leader and, well, basically late model legend. He's like the Canadian equivalent of Bubba Pollard. Jared Butcher.
Jordan Vino from the dash on the bubble. Talk about competition here.
During those qualifying rounds, it was disappointing to see Regan Smith, who was once the winner of the 2008 IWK 250 and was one of the only 2 celebrity NASCAR drivers to win a race at the IWK 250, qualify not in the top 5 or the top 10, but in the top 20. Yeah. You can tell that Regan Smith just came out of his, well, season where he didn't do very well. Yeah, his later season, to be more precise. Although he still had fun. And it looks like that the car wasn't well tuned for his driving style. Yeah. His car wasn't actually that great, especially when you consider that it's the Kids for Cat car. And you have a NASCAR driver, Regan Smith, behind the wheel. It was disappointing to not see him qualify in the top field. Other notable drivers in the qualifying rounds included Gary Elliott, no relation to Bill, and Chase Elliott, who was known as the Canadian Iron Man, and Craig Sollenwhite, who is the previous winner of the IWK 250 and is what I like to call the Bubba Pollard of Canada. Yeah, he's basically like Bubba Pollard, but Canadian. Heck, he'd probably be good friends with Bubba Pollard, considering that both of them are short track legends. Yeah. Regan Smith didn't qualify well, but at least he made it. And at least he would win one of the heat races. Next up, I'm going to talk about the qualifying heats for the vintage hot rod classes.
He's had a lot of local sponsors. He's revving that old thing. Now, a cool story about Donnie with the hot rods, you know, helping out the IWK Foundation. He hassled a bunch of his buddies and businesses to sponsor his car in Fredericton. He donated $1,000 for that sponsor money to the IWK.
The vintage hot rod race had 2 heat races just like the late model race. There would be 2 qualifying heats to determine the starting order. Yeah, so the winner of the first heat is a Chevy Bel Air. Yeah, here's what it looks like. It's a 1950s style Chevrolet Bel Air, and it does look a lot like the modified cars of the old days. This is basically what the Featherlight, aka Whelen Modified Series, would look like had the rules not been changed. Yeah, just imagine what the Whelen Modified Series would look like if they used the same rule set that they used to have in the olden days. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. The Bel Air won the first heat, and the second qualifying heat would come underway, and it would also have my favorite car of the field, and the most recent car of the field, the 1982 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am driven by Stacy Clemens. Yeah, it was once a legendary late model car driven by a certain short track legend, and, well, was driven by a short track legend. And Stacy Clemens would end up taking the wheel behind this awesome machine. Yeah, it not only looked amazing, but he was dominating the second heat. His car was really fast. Bad fast, in fact. It'll also be a great template for a Transformer, since it does have that 1980s look that a lot of G1 Transformers had. So yeah, Stacy Clemens did good. He's pretty much like the Canadian equivalent of Scott Bloomquist to you American watchers out there. So yeah. Always great to see Stacy Clemens dominate the second heat race. This was just the qualifying heat race. Yeah, it's just the qualifying heat race. So let's go on to the main show, shall we?
The next event for the Tournament Champion Hot Rod Classics coming up August 3rd at the Demon, that's a Dodge Demon of Jim Rankin in the 63 in front. In the 67, Chevy Chevelle, the number 23 for OK Tire, is Chris Dingle. Get inquirers, you get
the 50-50 sellers are up here. Haley, did you get your 50-50 tickets? Oh yeah, he's right. Okay, who we got?
We started to cross them up. The number 50. Last year was a Junior Hanley tribute, and Chris Dingle maybe. Junior Kelly and Chrissy's father tribute. That number 50 is Stacy Clements, the throwback to the old NASCAR look. The number 12 is Southern Comfort, a 65 Chevy driven by Jeff Ainsley, who drove Bill Bill.
My favorite on the field is number 50.
Auto Rock Radio, Roskin in on there.
Yes.
Cheater Peter Lawrence is the number 99, an old Chevy Camaro. The point design group among his partners, B&L Full War. His brother, is in that U2, that's different colors. You know, it was the 134 for a long time. Pat's from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, along with his brother Peter.
Just imagine.
And at the back of the field is the 23 Chris Dingle rejoining. So all these cars will join up for a feature coming up in just a little bit.
Joe got us our 50-50 tickets, and if we win, we're going on a grand vacation to probably Sydney. I think that's as far as it takes, right?
Can you?
Right, okay.
Take home is over $3,500, so make sure to grab us the number lines. Go around
In the main vintage hot rod race, we would see the qualifying order, and would you know it, Stacy Clemens happens to be in the top of the field. And of course the back marker of the race is the slow Ford Pinto, sponsored by Robbins. Yeah. I wanted to see Stacy Clemens in that Firebird win. And of course, his main rival would be a car that I would, well, his main rival would be a car that I would affectionately call the Batmobile. Because it looks a lot like the Batmobile. So yeah, the race comes underway and it's a 30-lap race. No cautions. It's all exciting racing. And yeah, there's not much to say here. But the older styled cars tried to pass Stacy Clemens, especially the ones styled after 1970s and late 1960s muscle cars. But Stacy Clemens obviously won the race and took home the victory, and it was amazing to see him win. Yeah. The Scott Bloomquist of Canada just won. Here's evidence of him winning. And here's what he has to say.
I'd like to dedicate this race to the builder of this original car, Bob Riley. I swear he was in the car, and Junior was in there too. Unreal. I don't know what to say. It's the IWK 250. It's our Daytona. And fans are second to none. And I'd like to thank the Chisholm family, Riverside Speedway, for everything they do. And hopefully everybody claps loud enough. We'll be back next year.
We gotta get louder than that. You want to see the Vintage Series back in the IWK next year? Make some noise. You want to see Stacy Clemens win again, right?
Well, I'll tell you, they made me work. Dingle just wouldn't let up, and I'm an old man, and I'll tell you, he put me in my place a couple times. I had to get back up on the wheels.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Stacy Clemens, the winner of the Anchor Toyota Classic. And up in second is Peter Lawrence with the big nose. So, I was saying during the broadcast, cars like this would have raced 250 back in 1977. Your car is styled after something like a Frank Frazier or Junior Hanley would have built. What does it mean to be here during the IWK 250?
It's great. The Hot Rodders do good work for the IWK. I'd like to say thanks to the Chisholm family, Steve and Marie Lewis for putting this event together. All of you fans for showing up. I'm all choked up. My girls were born at the IWK premature. They, for the last decade, have sold programs to those little girls going through the grandstands. And can't say enough about the IWK. And if you have spare change, find a bucket and donate it. Well, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Peter Lawrence finishes second. And we'll get a quick word here with Chris Dingle. Chris, fuel pump issues back at Petty a couple of weeks ago, last week in fact, and you're third here during the IWK 250 weekend. What does this mean to you?
Well, first I want to thank the Chisholm family for getting us here, Jim for getting us all in here, Patty for everything he does with their series. OK Tire, I'd really like to thank them. They come on board this year and they've helped me out tremendously. Stacy, me and Stacy always have fun racing against each other, and I think if I hadn't had a couple of lap times on the inside, I was just kind of making sure that I didn't get up into somebody going around. But we had fun. It was a good time, and I'd like to thank Anchor Toyota too for helping us out, get us here.
Here in these pro stocks are the Red Bull.
And we will also have the late model heat races. The guy who won the first heat is obviously the number 17 Toyota Camry driven by Josh Stade in Ontario. And it's no surprise since, well, he is one of the top guys at the ECI Pro Stock Tour. And the winner of the second qualifying heat race of the IWK 250 happens to be the Kids for Cat car driven by Regan Smith. Yeah, Regan Smith. And it was great to see him win the qualifying heat race. So yeah, both heat races were amazing to see. And they were exciting. And there was also a caution in the heat races. Yeah, there were 2 cars that wrecked out during the heat race. It was absolutely crazy. Just look. it had gotten so bad for the number 0 red Chevrolet SS that the driver of that car couldn't even make it to the autograph stand. Yeah, he had a car that was damaged beyond repair. Usually in late model racing, if you crashed your car, you could actually start fixing it. This isn't like NASCAR where if you crashed out, you're out of the race. But still, they couldn't get their cars fixed in time, so they had to take them to the hauler, and it wouldn't be until the next race where they get to race their cars again. So yeah, it was very sad for that car and the number 48 car that also crashed during one of the heat races, and he couldn't even make it to the autograph stand. But I wanted to go to the autograph stand just to get Regan Smith's autograph. And guess what? I actually got it. Although I did have to deal with a crying child. Yeah. Some children cry for no reason. I can usually get used to it. I'm not going to tell you the full story since it's personal stuff, but it is a true story. But anyways, I'm going to show you what I actually got at the merch stand and the autograph stand. So here I go. Yeah, the merch at the merch stand is basically shirts, hats, and stickers. Including this one I got. I actually got a $5 sticker. They didn't have any die casts aside from the one that would usually be given out during a lucky draw, but hey, at least I got a die cast from the sports card store, and it was Tyler Reddick. And yeah, I actually got to meet up with Regan Smith, believe it or not. He was an amazing guy to meet. Yeah, he had a great personality, and he was rather friendly, believe me. I've seen this guy on TV. I've actually seen him as a Fox News reporter because of me watching NASCAR a lot. Heck, this race basically serves as a beta test for whenever I go to an actual NASCAR race. So yeah, I got an autograph from Regan Smith that I will frame on the wall. Yep, he gave me this hero card. And I didn't even have to ask for it. And heck, I even posed by him and shared the picture on Facebook for all you to see. I even posted it in my YouTube feed. So yeah, I got to meet Regan Smith, even though he's not the best NASCAR driver, still great to meet him. And he had a good personality. I hope that William Byron gets to go to the IWK 250 sometime. I mean, it's great to see HendrickCars.com get involvement in this race. Especially with the Kids for Cat car having a HendrickCars.com sponsor. Heck, Dale Jr. could go there if he wants to. And I'm actually going to make a list of top 10 drivers that should take part in the IWK 250. I'm usually listing out celebrity stock car drivers, whether if they're late models or ARCA. But a lot of them are going to be NASCAR drivers. So yeah, I got Regan Smith's autograph, and I cannot wait to frame this. And yes, the sticker that I got will be put on something. So yeah, I was stoked to see Regan Smith in person. And it was amazing to see him. Yeah. And some people think I don't go outside and touch grass. Yeah. I definitely do go outside and touch grass, and I went outside to go to Riverside as a beta test for whenever I go to an actual NASCAR track. So yeah, I'm going to be doing the thing that a lot of NASCAR race reviewers like to do. And I'm eyeing on going to either New Hampshire Motor Speedway or Watkins Glen whenever I get to go there. The racing in New Hampshire is not as exciting in my opinion as Watkins Glen, since Watkins Glen is a road course. It'll still be cool to see some of my favorite NASCAR drivers and actually get a Ross Chastain diecast autographed by him. And hopefully I'll get some Kyle Larson merch signed as a prank for my mom. I'm not going to actually do a prank. That as a prank for my mom. Yeah, she's not a fan of Kyle Larson. But I don't think he's a bad driver. He's a great driver. He's a great talent, and it's why he's doing the double, because he's talented. But anyways, back to the IWK 250, and after the autograph session, the fact that, well, the food stands were busy and I only got like 2 mini hot dogs with fries and a Diet Pepsi, because they ran out of a lot of stuff. Yeah, you should get the food stands better prepared. I actually enjoyed my meal, and when the race eventually came on, I got to sit down and see Regan Smith race. He didn't have to win, he just had to race. And not finish last, and that's what he did. So yeah, let's get this race review underway. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not confusing the IWK 250 with the Pennzoil 250 at Indianapolis. The race where Riley Herbst and Cole Custer had a 1-2 finish. This is a late model race, and of course it's divided into 2 heats, or 2 stages as I like to call them. Yeah, all you guys like to complain about stage racing in NASCAR, this is no different. So yeah, the race was amazing to see. It was great to see some short track racing on the track that looked like Bristol before Bristol got turned into a concrete track. So yeah, the drivers who led the most laps are the number 54 car, a car that shares the same number as Ty Gibbs, and the number 99 car of Canadian Bubba Pollard, Craig Solmwhite. And guess who led the most laps? Yeah, it was the Cragster. It was Craig. The Crag. And I focused a lot on Regan Smith. Yeah, he was actually running pretty good. He didn't try to stress out the car. But it was still great to see him race again after all these years. And yeah, he was obviously rusty from his last time he raced in NASCAR. I mean, his final years in NASCAR were done racing for underfunded teams, and he wasn't as skilled as he used to be. Especially when he almost won the Talladega race, but his win was taken away because of that yellow line rule. So yeah, in the first half of the race, Craig Solmwhite and the number 54 car led the most laps, and Regan Smith was trying his absolute best not to stay in last place, and he was trying to pass another Ford Mustang late model racer. So yeah, he was having fun. And it seemed that the local legends liked to have fun with him. And there's also one racer in this late model race that races part-time for the NASCAR Canada Series. So yeah, in the first half of the race, we would get our first competition caution. And yeah, there were some wrecks out there. There were some other cautions, just like any other stock car race. And yeah, some racers got taken out. Here's a compilation of all the cautions that happened.
I would say so, Tim, and
Joe, he is listed as 12, so we should have 12 cars on the lead lap when we do go back to green flag racing. And just checking here, I believe Craig Slonway still has the Eastleigh fastest lap of the race. So we will keep on that in. Still at his 14.598, and that was turned on lap number. I see this stage. So folks, this is how this will work. All these cars are going to pit road. They are not allowed to start working on their race cars until the 10-minute timer has started on the back straightaway. So those that are looking, you can look all you want. You can't touch. If you touch, you'll go into the back of the field. So we have to wait for all these cars to make their way down onto the pit road into their box. I see the 36 of Gary Elliott is going to make his way down into his box, and
He's on the back.
He's on the back. We'll wait for the high sign from Mike Ledwidge. Our competition director, Ashley Smith, is working our scoreboard. Josh Stoddy is still making his way into his box, and as soon as he makes it in, we will wait for the high sign from Mr. Ledwidge. We will look, and there it is, folks. Get to work.
And we got to preface it too, if you happen to see guys working on the 54s, because they were in and working on it before the break.
Mr. Langell, I see you have Steve Lewis down there.
I do. We're just waiting on the 50-50 here. Actually, while I get a quiet moment with Steve Lewis, this is the Steve Lewis that's presenting this race. You just said to me, what a great night, right?
just awesome. Awesome.
The place is packed. I think we're going to have to build more grandstands here soon.
Sounds a good idea to me.
What does it mean for your family, the Chisholms and the Lewises, for the support for this race and what you guys do for the IWK Foundation?
Well, as you can see around me, there's a gentleman right here next to us. It's about him. And him. And all these guys that are here. All these children. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Race fans, let's give a hand for Steve Lewis for always supporting this IWK 250. And we're going to see if we can give away some money here. I can see our friends from the Antigonish Junior B Bulldogs coming. And after this, we've got a pretty cool announcement to make from the Smith family in relation to fundraising for the IWK 250. I guess we're going to go on the racetrack here.
Hopefully it's not a radiator. I think back to the 08 of Nicholas Noggle had a lot of the same looking damage the last race here.
Yeah, and he had some of that damage too, that explosion back in the truck stars races. Bad news.
Square you hear that? No brakes for your back-to-back IWK 250 champion, the number 99, Craig Slowlight.
Wow. Batman, what did you think of that one?
Awesome. We know it's always going to be awesome here at the IWK 250. If it had stayed green, what if? We looked for a caution for the race fans here to see a caution with 5 laps to go. You can't ask for any better. Bumper to bumper, and Bob Woodhouse and Tucker.
Another caution. 25 coming. He doesn't want to put on. Hey, I want to confirm while we got some quiet here. The 50-50 has been claimed. Congratulations to Darcy Blackburn, winner of over $11,000. So again, the 50-50 has been claimed, but thank you again, fans, for buying those tickets. You bought yourself a ticket for a 5-lap shootout tonight, too.
It's out of the race now. So yeah, this race wasn't entirely caution-free. And the number 17 Toyota Camry had to go back to the hauler because of sustaining damage. And that means that he won't be racing in the ECI Pro Stock Tour until the next race. Yeah, a bummer. I know how you NASCAR fans all feel. During the first competition caution, the racers would make adjustments to their cars and change the tires and gas them up. This is more like a heat than a stage. In fact, it's no different from stages in NASCAR. Yeah, stages in NASCAR are basically heats. People criticize about stage racing in NASCAR, even though it's no different from heat racing. And similar to heat racing, the guys got their cars prepared and would change tires. And all of the late model cars, just like any other late model cars, would use Hoosier rubber. They would also have different crate motors, and also in the top of the field we have the number 29 Screamin' Demon Dodge Charger, which had a Mopar crate motor because, of course, people love Dodge in Canada. Dodge is one of the biggest brands in Canada. I don't blame them for that, since they've made a lot of cool cars, especially the Hellcats and the Vipers. After the 10 minutes was up in the first half of the race, the competition caution was over, and the cars would get prepared. But there were a few cars that still didn't make it to the second half and still had to make some adjustments and prepare their cars. So yeah, in the second half of the race would go underway, and Regan Smith would try to pass some cars, but he wouldn't be the one winning the race, as late model racing usually has large lead gaps. Yeah, this is a problem with late model racing and the ARCA Menard series. The lead gaps would be huge, even with competition cautions being implemented. And the top guy is Craig Slowlight, the Bubba Pollard of Canada. So yeah, we got to see nothing but the number 54 car and the number 99 car battle it out. We wouldn't see Regan Smith be top of the field. If the Kids for Cat car was driven by William Byron or heck Dale Jr., you will be seeing him compete with Craig Slowlight. But keep in mind, Regan Smith is also one of those drivers who's rusty behind the wheel, and his later NASCAR years came back to bite him. But hey, at least he drove the Thomas car in another race years ago. So yeah, in the final lap, we would get to see Craig Solomwhite take the victory, and here's his victory celebration. Yeah, Craig Solomwhite was amazing. But unfortunately, this is where my camera's battery ran out during filming. But still, embrace his victory while you can.
Hear that? No brakes for your back-to-back IWK 250 champion, the number 99, Craig Solomwhite.
Wow. Batman, what did you think of that one?
Awesome. We know it's always going to be awesome here at the IWK 250. If it had stayed green, what if? We looked for a caution for the race fans here to see a caution with 5 laps to go. You can't ask for any better. Bumper to bumper and Bumper Dash Tucker.
So yeah, I hope that this video brings some light to the IWK 250, and in my opinion, it was a great race. It was a late model race that actually had all the ingredients to be a great race. It's a lot like the Cars Tour races, except Canadian-fied. Well, Canadianified, to be more precise. And we got to see some hard racing action and some cautions. So yeah, a great race, and I can see why this race is popular, especially with Riverside being the most popular track in my home province. The second most popular track is Atlantic Motorsport Park, and they don't have a race like the IWK 250 does. Although it is a road course. I do want to petition there to be a Formula E race, or heck, even an ARCA Menard Series race that would be like the equivalent of the IWK 250 in Atlantic Motorsport Park. We need to see more road courses in ARCA. So yeah, IWK 250. The 2024 IWK 250 was amazing. Got to see Regan Smith, got to see some racing action live and not on TV, and it was basically a great way to start out my beta test towards going to an actual NASCAR race. Later, you will see me at Watkins Glen or New Hampshire or whatever track is closest, and you will see me cheering on the Watermelon Man himself, Ross Chastain. In my opinion, the IWK 250, while it doesn't have the same standards as a NASCAR race does, but keep in mind, this is a late model race, and as far as late model race standards go, this is one of the better ones. And it's up there with some of the better late model races in the Cars Late Model Tour. The IWK 250 at Riverside Speedway gets a 9 out of 10. The 2024 edition does. Well, the 2024 edition, to be more precise, is what I meant to say. So yeah, IWK 250. It is the race to start all of my live appearances at NASCAR races. Although I used to go to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve at Montreal, Quebec to see an Xfinity race here. And I even have the ticket to prove it. And it's not a fake, believe it or not. I actually kept the ticket. So I'm going to show you it right away. Here it is. Yeah, it was called the Nationwide Series. You can't see it on camera. But it's now called the Xfinity Series. Yeah, I used to go to that race. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing Carl Edwards win and do his backflips. Although it's sad to see Marcus Ambrose lose. And Marcus Ambrose is basically what made Shane Van Gisbergen the guy he is now. But anyways, it's time to bring out my closing thoughts on the IWK 250 of 2024. I had a great time at the IWK 250 and got to have an autograph from Regan Smith and got to meet him in person. He is the guy that interviews all the races in the Fox Sports live TV schedule. He's not cup racing anymore, although he's no older than Denny Hamlin is. And Denny Hamlin is still doing pretty well. Just goes to show that Denny Hamlin is in top tier equipment. And with top tier equipment, Regan Smith actually did pretty well. While filling in for Kyle Larson while he passed out during an autograph session. No joke, this actually happened in 2015 or 2016, I believe. While Kyle Larson was signing autographs, he passed out, and Regan Smith had to take his place. No joke, this actually happened at Martinsville. But anyways, this is my first journey to seeing live race events, and a perfect way to test the waters of me going to live race events and witness stock cars racing on the track itself, and not just watching it on TV, but actually being a part of the race. And I would get to see my favorite drivers be up there. So yeah, look forward to seeing me at either New Hampshire or Watkins Glen sometime in the future. I'm trying to decide on which track I would like to go first. So yeah, an awesome race, and I had a lot of fun. It was amazing. It was a lot of great action, and I was a part of it. It's nice to be a part of the racing action. You can actually smell the gasoline and the tires. And Shane Van Gisbergen, or William Byron if you're watching this, or heck, even Dale Earnhardt Jr. if you're watching this, I'd like to see you go the IWK 250. Especially when you guys have a great personality. Shane Van Gisbergen, please consider going to the IWK 250 if you have the chance. Or time to do so. I'd like to see you go there. Your pal and trainer, Marcus Ambrose, went there years ago, so you should give it a try too. And who knows, you might get some experience on ovals and have some fun racing against local legends. But anyways, this is the Bandito signing off, and here's a random video that you might like to see. And you know the drill. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on seeing the latest Racer Cinema Productions videos. And so you don't miss out, well, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest Racer Cinema Productions video. Although, if you're already subscribed to the channel, all you have to do is just like and comment. But until then, this is the Bandito signing off. And hopefully I will be there at an actual NASCAR race. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.